the last model is the one which is the most complicated, and that is called the pool, process, store and sell. So, you are doing all the 4 activities, and why would you want to do that, and what are the typical crops in which this would happen? Obviously, you would do that if the prices are going to rise post harvest. Typical example is lentils. Another example is soybean, although soybean processing is much more capital intensive. So, as we mentioned earlier, lentils or dals are crops where the prices go up considerably post harvest, and processing also adds value. So, if you want to realize maximum benefit for the members of the cooperative, you not only pool it, you process the dal, you store it, wait for the price to go up, and then you sell it. So, that is the entire cycle. Most of the businesses are actually private businesses who are successful are operating on this model. The main advantage is that it can give even higher profits than any of the other models, but the challenges are there. I mean, now you have to manage everything. You have to manage capital investment, you have to have storage, you have to have large working capital, and you have to have the business skills for managing commodity trading. So, there are examples of these things running very successfully in different parts of the country, but unless one pays attention to all aspects of business, in the early days it is difficult to manage this. So, let me mention one thing very clearly and upfront. The cost of failure is extremely high, because the risk taking capacity of a small farmer is very low. You cannot tell him that I am sorry, we are going to make losses for the first 2 years and then we will recover our money in the 5th year. That is not going to happen. The moment you start making losses, the cooperative is most likely going to shut down. So, the real challenge is to make sure that year after year it is profitable and tangible benefits go to the farmers. So, how do we do that? So, one way out is to move through these 4 stages step by step. So, on day 1 you just start with a simple pool and sell model. Once the membership has increased, the market presence is there, some profits have accumulated, you move to the next stage, consolidate, then move to the next stage and so on. There is no other way of doing it in a greenfield site. But if you are successful in a region, suppose you already have working with 10,000 farmers and it is working well, then when you go to another region nearby or a little far away, you do not have to start from scratch, because now word has got around, the people in that region know that this is doing well, and you can actually start right away with the most suitable model. As an example, if you go back to milk cooperatives, the first milk cooperative which became large scale and successful was the one in Amul, which was in Gujarat in one district called Khera district, and it was bottom up, like the way we have been discussing. It took them years to perfect that model, but once it became successful, they spread in different districts of Gujarat and then they spread in different parts of the country. They did not have to do everything bottom up. They had a working model, they had capital, they had know-how, they had market presence, they had the capability to build a brand and sell it, so they could just take that model and replicate it in different parts of the country. So, scaling up at later stages requires that the first greenfield site is in solid shape. What does being in solid shape mean? It means that there are sufficient members. It is hard to put a number, but just I think unless you have 5 to 10,000 members, it does not really have a scale for replication. It should be profitable. It should ideally have gone the entire gamut of value addition, and they should be members who are not only owning the thing, but they have skin in the game, who are participating, taking decisions and making it their own.